Hello, hello, and welcome to the Be the CEO of Your Life live show here with you today on this beautiful Friday. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are. We are here live today, and this show is for ambitious business owners who really want to minimize the efforts and maximize the results. And today I am very excited. This is one of the Soulful Stories interviews, and I have a very special guest with me today. Nay, welcome.
Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Nay. I am from Tanzania and I'm the founder and CEO of Wisdom and Wellness Meditation Garden, a wellness center here in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
I love it. Yeah. So, I read your story and I thought, oh, you have some beautiful things to share. So, I really want to take a deep dive. And what you do, you're the founder and the CEO, is all about self care. Now, can you share why you think self care is so important?
Yeah, self-care. Well, I feel like any success or happiness in anything you do, it all starts with self, with you, before you can go out there and be the best that you want to be, this person that you aspire to be. You have to totally nourish yourself, make sure that you're happy, you're content, you're aligned with your purpose, and you're like you have embraced everything and you're ready to go out there and not only shine outwards and be of service to others, but go out there and be a part of a community and create an impact like no other because you're walking your truth.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's something I think you're straight going to the core, but I see it so often that to be successful, a lot of people say, well, I'm a success because I reached my goals or I made a lot of money. But to me, that's not true success because if you're not looking after yourself and if you're not happy with who you are, then you're not really there, you know?
Mhm.
And so I love that you share that same view. But there something happened in your life that made you come to this what you do now, right?
Yes. Um, yeah. A little while ago, I encountered some struggles with mental health. To me, this was an introduction into an area I had no idea about. I didn't know what was going on. I've been in the States for 15 years. I came here to school and I stayed here. I've been working here, and life's got its funny way of just happening, right? And it happened. I I was struggling with depression. I was struggling with appreciating and loving myself. I was really struggling in finding worth to my life. I wasn't living my purpose, so I didn't feel that there was a need for me to be here. I'd reached a point where I wouldn't harm myself, but these were thoughts. I'm like, why am I here? Like, why would my family even miss me if I'm not here anymore? Like, what is my contribution? It was pretty bad. And I've been struggling with anxiety as well. The first time I had a panic attack, I was working and I started getting these weird sensations in my fingertips, and my fingers locked up and my forearms and everything was just like I didn't know what was going on. Called an ambulance. I was at work and I started seeing specialists, psychiatrists, therapists. I was on medication, prescription medication, and I was taking it, and it just wasn't helping me be the best of myself. Sure, it was helping ease the anxiety. I was on Xanax, and it was great, but I was also feeling very flat,
Yeah,
like just that.
yeah, yeah,
It's hard to explain, but you get it.
yeah.
Um, so I had to find. I wasn't thriving. I wasn't. You can see when the happiness comes from inside. It glows. Like the glow is real. And so I knew that I had to stop that. because first I've never been great with prescription medication, keeping track and all of that. And I had to figure out what's going on in here. Why can I value myself? Like, why am I feeling worthless? So I also realized at the time that I wasn't treating myself well. I wasn't giving myself, like if I see somebody out there that I admire and I'm like, wow, look at that. That didn't just happen. That is, person took time, took care of themselves, put the work in. And we like that. So if you like that and you want, to shine out like that, why not put the work into yourself?
Love
So, you
Yeah.
know, mental health, as I was learning about it, I realized it's like crazy because I had like depressive episodes that were recurring and recurring. And I started learning about all of that. And for me, really, I had to dig deep. Um, so medication, and I started practicing yoga. I got a mirror. I didn't have a mirror.
Wow.
This is crazy, right? A friend of mine asked me, like, "No, do you have a mirror?" And I started to say yes. It's like, not a mirror that comes in the bathroom.
No, just like a mirror. Yeah, I've got a mirror. I can see
Yeah.
myself.
You
Sure.
know, what's your objection here? It's not vanity, because maybe I was looking at it like, oh, I'm too. Maybe that would mean that I'm too self-involved, but it's okay to look at yourself. It's okay. That's how we turn our weaknesses into strengths, by
Yeah.
embracing what you are without judgment, with love. Be gentle and accept that, and see how you can turn that into something that's powerful and beautiful, because you can't always change the situation, but you can change the outcome by how your outlook of it is will change everything, the way you approach a situation. So I started being a little bit gentler with myself, accepting me for who I am. Like, when I know that I'm not quite doing what I should be doing, or this is not the best thing for me, but I'm still doing it, I actually have conversations with myself daily. It was like, is this the decision that you have decided to go with? And you're gonna be okay with it. That's fine. And allow yourself to make mistakes and fix them. And yeah, so just a little gentle approach, or an hour of yoga. I started practicing it, and it was so calming. And it really helped center me, not just physically but emotionally. I find myself, like, when I'm in situations and I'm getting anxious, I take these deep breaths now without thinking about it. It just happens. And I know this is all because of my practice that I do every day. Because, when I start looking into it, I'm like, okay, sometimes I don't breathe. Like, I forget to breathe, or I get too excited, and I'm just like, it happens like crazy. And I'm like, these are things that are within my control. Like, things like that. Luckily for me, it was within my control.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So just taking those small steps towards helping yourself, making everything around you be there to help you along on this journey, because we're all in one journey or another.
Yeah.
So if it's like hanging pretty lights um on your work area, and that gives you joy, like, that also affects your productivity.
Sure.
It's amazing. Like, when I walk into my workspace, like this, you know, and I turn on the lights, and I'm like, wow, look at this. And once I start working, and I'm like, I have a whole team of small little things that I put around to just cheer me on.
I like that. I like that. But so for you, what really got you out of this negative vibe and almost, well, maybe it's too strong of a word, but self-hate, right? It wasn't pretty how you felt about yourself. Was really the yoga, or was it a lot of things that you did
It was
to come out of it?
a lot of things. It
Yeah.
was talking. It was I had to start re-engaging in society because I had isolated myself. It was very easy for me to
Right.
just lock myself out, and like, I'm not a part of this community, or I can't feel accepted there while I hate myself.
No, yeah, that's a big thing. But it's also a big thing that often we then blame others. We're not a part of them, where it's actually us not accepting ourselves. And as soon as we start accepting ourselves, it's like opening up doors.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I find that very beautiful. And also, when I listen to you, I find it also, and I had a conversation about it earlier today here also on LinkedIn. Because when I meditated this morning, there was this ad for Mind Valley, and the question was, how can you change the world, or how can you change your world when you're not changing? And I thought it's so true. Often we want our exterior to change, and if we're really honest, it would be nice if they would do the work.
Hmm.
And we could just be there in our safety zone and be okay with who we are, even if we're not okay with who we are, but we wouldn't have to change. And then everything else would change, and then all of a sudden we would be happy. But the truth of the matter is, we wouldn't be happy because we haven't changed.
No, the problem is still internal. It's
Yeah,
still, whatever was there that was stopping you before, that's
yeah.
still there. That hasn't changed. And it would be great if there was a quick, a switch, a turn on, turn off, where you find your quick solution. That would be lovely.
That
But
would be good. I'm in.
right, it's like it just really, and it doesn't even have to be work. Just start with simple, honest conversations with yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
Approach yourself, be gentle with yourself,
yeah,
talk to people, seek out. You have to start setting boundaries, right? So seek out relationships that are helping you grow, people that want to see you do better. It's easy to
yeah.
fall into patterns that we are comfortable in, because change is not easy, but
No,
if you surround yourself with people who want to see the best out of you, then they will push you towards that goal, or they will call you out on whatever it is, whatever. It's easy to make excuses.
true.
So surround yourself with people who don't let you get away with those excuses. But
Yeah,
that starts with you being ready to take responsibility and know that you're not going to change anybody out there. People will change around you based on how you act around them.
I love that. That's so true. I still remember when I'm quite an introvert, so I like to keep a lot inside. And then when I was changing, I decided, okay, I'm gonna open up and be more vulnerable, right? But in the beginning, it was really scary because if you're vulnerable, you feel like you're bearing your soul and people can crush it. And to my surprise, when I started being more vulnerable, people became more vulnerable to me, and that was really one of the. It's years ago, but I still remember today. I was like, wow, they never shared it with me, but I didn't share it. So it's so beautiful to see once you change that indeed the whole surrounding, and it's the same like when you smile, right? When you go in the street and you just smile at someone, and a smile is contagious. People can look at you,
Mhm.
but when you smile, they will have to smile back. So I just love those little things.
When you smile, you entered into this non-verbal contract.
Yeah,
Thing is good, if
yeah,
it's not, I hope it's good.
I like that. I like
How
that a
we
lot.
act, what comes out, is all
Yeah,
based on what we feed into ourselves. If
yeah,
you're feeding yourself with negative talk, or you're surrounding with people who make you feel worthless, or you are allowing yourself to feel worthless in that way, then what comes out is it's not going to be pretty and shiny. It's going
yeah,
to be what you put in there.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. And so you had this experience and you did a lot of things, and now you're using your experience in your business.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about what you do and how people can benefit from what you do, because I think it's highly beneficial, like we both experience. So share a bit about where they can find you.
All right. So I on my journey towards healing, I started practicing. I started taking nature walks. Just a day out of the week where I could just go and walk and enjoy nature as it is. And I started opening up more to people about my experiences, because I know how confusing and frustrating and scary it can be.
Yeah,
So I since I am blessed enough to have passed that stage where I'm afraid to be vulnerable. To me, it's like really empowering. Like one of the things that you cannot shut me up about now. I'm like, I will keep on talking because I know there are like it was like I think a period of 5 years where I felt like I was not communicating well, and I wish I had more of it's okay what you're feeling. It's okay, and we can work through it this way. So I started using the practices that helped me heal in creating this wellness center. I teach yoga, so I have turned that yoga into like my own practice into a practice that I can share with people. I organize nature hiking and camping trips. I'm doing it anyway. It helps me, so why not share that with community?
I
Because I
love
feel
it.
like for me, I had to find my way back into community. I had to be reintegrated into society, and that meant I had to find the society that that I'm comfortable with. And also, I co-founded a nonprofit in Tanzania that trains retired elderly women in adapting WHO's mental health gap action program, and these women provide mental health services, support, and resources in their communities on a weekly basis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we actually got authorization to be stationed inside local government offices. So for everybody who visits the local government in their communities, the WWC, the Wisdom and Wellness Counselor, would is stationed there and they're available. So in this wellness center, I also part of my self-care routine was like learning what's going on here. Like, okay, so this is about me. If I'm putting this lotion on butter, it's going on me. What's going on? Is
Yeah.
everything okay? So I started learning, like, oh my goodness, there are so many ingredients, and oh yeah, penetrates into the bloodstream. And guess what? I found there is like so many simpler, healthier, natural things that we can do. I mean, like for me, that was the most empowering thing to know that I can make my own soap with some oils, cooking oils that I might have in my pantry. And out of these services, from production, manufacturing of the natural skincare and aromatherapy, I actually have lavender flower water, lavender hydrosol already out and launched. um, I use 50% of that revenue from the wellness center to support tewi, the nonprofit in Tanzania that does the mental health work. uh,
Nay, I'm gonna stop you because you're doing so much. I need to process it all just to have it clear. Okay, so
Sorry,
first of all, you're saying doing nature walks, which is like a really you go out in nature, but also nature. Well, yeah, camping, and that's really where you part of what you have, what helped you to heal is what you're passing on, and it's still helping you. So that's why you're opening it up for the community and people go with you. And you need to give your details so people know where to sign up, because I think a lot of people really love it. I know from research that 95%, which I think is amazing, they really, really become more happy when they're in nature. So I think what you're doing is top spot. And then you're saying you also founded an organization, a non-profit organization in Tanzania for the elderly retired women who give mental health care. And you actually made them in government community so people can actually reach them. And what my mind goes like is that I like it because I can imagine, and I tell me whether I'm right, that the elder generation in Tanzania still are very respected and very much listened to. So it's almost like you're dropping a very powerful drop in the ocean, and everybody benefits from it because you've helped these powerful, and they are powerful women. I think the image is frozen. Well, you're helping the community with empowering these women to share the goodness. Am I right?
you are absolutely right.
Okay.
Yep, spot on.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking about it, and I really, really. um, I'm very happy to hear that this is working because it's so important. And I also know that people in Tanzania, it's not always an easy place to live in, right? And not just that, but I think, well, you and I both experience difficulties as well. So I love it. And then what was the other thing you said? So yeah, right. And then you're also selling the lavender, and I forgot the name, but I was gonna say it smells delicious. I can't even smell it. But it is delicious. So and 50% of what you sell goes back to the ladies in Tanzania, am I right?
And 50% of the yoga classes goes back to the
Oh
non-registered
wow.
sellers.
Wow. So I think the image is frozen, but luckily you look still quite okay. Um, so if people want this lavender lotion, how can they order it? How can they become a member? Tell me what can people do to come in contact?
I have a website where I have listed like the lavender floral water for people to purchase. I ship across the United States, and
Yeah,
the classes that we offer are also on there. The classes that I offer,
yeah,
and on we have some events that are happening. There's like an event page, so people can sign up for the walks. When I have the walks or the camping trips organized, they can sign up there, or there are other groups, a meetup groups that I've created that
yeah.
people can also join through. So I do have some links that I can share for people who would like to either purchase a class or products, um, and or join for walks in like the DMV area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia parks.
Nice. So it's not just in Washington, but it's in other places in the US as well.
No, this is just in the DMV area, Washington,
Okay,
D.C., Maryland, and Virginia.
okay, great. I'm now very, very sorry that I'm all the way over in the Netherlands. Okay, and you also have, and I can't do anything anymore, so I hope people still can see us and still can hear us, because I can't even, I had the link to your weekly community yoga practice on Saturdays, but the link, I can't touch anything. But talk to us about that because that sounds fun.
So on Saturday we meet on Zoom. I teach from here, and I have people join me from their homes. They can join on a mobile device, a laptop, a tablet. Just all you need is a yoga mat, comfortable clothing, bottle of water, maybe a towel, and we just walk through the practice together. 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour spent together, just breathing, incorporating our breathing into movement, holding poses, and just appreciating and loving yourself.
I love that. Now I'm going to ask a nasty question, but I am not that flexible. I'm being vulnerable here. I'm one of the people when you do a yoga class and everybody is like bend it forward. I'm the one sticking out because I can't bend that much. So how would I still be okay, or is it really for the more the bend it like a pretzel kind of person?
Oh no, you would be very, very okay. It's it's not the crazy poses that we're doing, and you really just go as far as it's comfortable for you. It's a very personal practice. Push yourself to your limits, to your safe limits, and you go with it. You can I have watched myself, my flexibility grow over time, and over time you build that flexibility, you gain that strength.
Okay, I
So
hear you.
there's never I'm not flexible enough to stretch.
Yeah, I once had a client who also was a yoga teacher, and she told me, why a lot of people come to my yoga classes. I said, no, why? She said, well, I'm not very flexible myself, so a lot of people are really relieved when they come to my class because they think, okay, I'm not the only one, and it made me laugh, but it made me realize it's actually true. So I love that in your class it's also very okay to be whatever
Oh
your
yeah.
flexibility is, that you're welcome. So we covered a lot. We covered your incredible journey, how you are really making self-care an important thing, and that's what I really align with, because I think for me, being the CEO of your life is all about that. It's not just being the CEO of your business, but it's also being the CEO of your life and choosing you, so to say, and empowering yourself with self-care. So I love that. I love the nonprofit you started in Tanzania, and how you contribute 50% of all your earnings to them. Um, is there anything that we didn't cover, or that you just want to add before we close the show today?
Um, I said never be afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
So it's okay. Whatever you might perceive to be a weakness on your part,
Yeah.
sharing it can so turn it into a strength.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. It's also very much in line with Brene Brown, right? Using your vulnerability as a superpower, and I think
Oh
you
yeah.
are you are the walking example of that.
And you feel so much better. I feel so much lighter and happier. And oh, and you be amazed how many people can connect and relate, and how many people need to hear that.
Yeah.
Need that, need to hear that.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Whenever I work with clients and they struggle to sell, so to say, whatever they're selling, I always ask them why do you do what you do? And everybody has a personal story like yours, not similar story, but it's always personal. It's always very, well, most of the times it's very ground moving. But then they become ashamed to share it, because, like, yeah, what can I share? And when I hear those stories like yours, I'm already halfway there because I like your story, I like what you do, so then it's so much easier to sell. Now, I don't say you should tell your story to sell, but you should share your story to connect, because connecting is where it all starts for me.
Yes, and personal connection is very, very important. When people can connect to the person and not just a brand, but actually connect on a personal level. We all need human connection.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Well, I think that's a lovely quote to end today with. Thank you so much, Nay, for being my guest here. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I do hope that that the image still worked. I'll check it out later. Um, yeah, let's share some links for the people who have been watching this, or if you've been watching this in a replay, let us know as well. Any questions, please post them, because we will visit them again. And with that, May, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks. Thanks, Yvonne.
And I'm closing the show. See you all again on Monday. Great. I can't even close the thing.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Nate, I'm gonna try to be brutal and end this thing. I really don't know what's happening. Oh yeah. Okay.